Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all having a great day and that you're all doing well. To start things off, Swiss crypto investment product provider Amun says it has received significant institutional interest in its exchange traded product that is tied to Binance Coin. Amun's managing director and head of ETFs, Laurent Kissis, and the company's European roadshow in London, Zurich, Milan, and Scandinavia is already fully booked, with meetings with representatives from over 30 institutional investors across the continent. The event, which began last week and is expected to continue through Friday, is marketing the Binance Coin exchange-traded product to potential clients. These are primarily qualified investors who may have a mandate to allow exposure to crypto as part of a much broader portfolio of assets. Meeting have been with hedge funds and family offices, and some also scheduled with asset managers. One-to-one sessions were oversubscribed or fully booked, so Amun had to add more events, including a lunch meeting for investors to participate in. Obviously, taking a meeting isn't the same as making a purchase, but institutional interest may signal that such big money investors are starting to broaden their crypto beyond Bitcoin. I found this one particularly interesting because we don't hear as much as we were previously before about Binance Coin. There was a certain time period, I can't remember exactly when it was, it obviously was months ago, it's not relatively recent, where Binance Coin was being touted as kind of like, and this is grain of salt, it was touted as kind of like the buying Amazon stock or buying Apple stock in like the very beginning or years before anyone was really paying attention to it, as Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange. The interesting part is that we have had many large cryptocurrency exchanges that have at some point been at the top of the ladder and then have kind of floated away, flown away. Coinbase, Poloniex, Kraken, BitBaboop, you know, there have been multiple over the course of a lot of years, just that Binance is currently at the top, and therefore this is why I think it's getting a lot of attention. That's not to say that Binance Coin will go down or that Binance won't remain the #1 crypto exchange on this planet, but you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes we see things at the top, we think it'll last forever. Something comes in brand new, shinier, and everyone goes, okay, let's start using that exchange instead. The interesting part is that I want to say like the interest that's actually being shown towards Binance Coin, maybe once again, maybe simply because it wasn't in the news, that we didn't get to really realize how much interest was actually being paid to it. But the fact that there are hedge funds and family offices, and probably not pension fund type things, but the fact that there's any major interest to kind of bring it on home. We normally only see interest in Bitcoin. Sometimes we may also speak about the interest in Ethereum, but to go directly to Binance Coin kind of lets me know that something behind the scenes is maybe working. This is, of course, all speculation, but the fact that I'm pretty sure this is also listed on the Swiss stock exchange as well. The people from Binance clearly know what they're doing. I've noticed a lot of, I'll just say it, I've noticed a lot of other, a lot of other, one or two other YouTubers for some reason don't care for Binance. I'm really neither here nor there. I like their transparency, and I also like how well they've done and how they've kind of outpaced and outperformed other crypto exchanges who were around for like 6 years. Anyway, we'll see exactly how this ends up going. I don't know if I can see Binance being, I mean, no one can see 20 years in the future. I guess that's part of the interesting part of it. No one 25 years ago saw Apple, Amazon, or Google being the powerhouses that they are now. But logically, if Binance can survive for another 20-something years, even I would say another 10, 12 years might be a better indication of exactly where they're going to go. Anyway, I think that a lot of the, the interest in Binance Coin comes from the fact that the company continuously burns their coins. I think they started out with 180 million. I don't know the exact number what they started with, but I think the goal is that they burn some every month or every quarter, and the goal is to only have maximum 100 million coins, and that's it. No more will be made after that, and no more will be burned. No more will be burned. That was difficult to say, and I assume this is why maybe people are scooping them up now. Anyway, I found this interesting. Especially because it was for Binance Coin, and let's move on. Next up, Blockchain startup known as Life Labs announced that it is developing a digital currency dubbed BVI Life in partnership with the British Virgin Islands. According to a press release on the 3rd of December, the currency is part of a broader initiative to grow the local fintech sector and will be presented during the British Virgin Islands Digital Economy Symposium. The stablecoin, or the coin, will be a stablecoin that will be pegged one-to-one to the US dollar, which the British Virgin Islands has been using since 1959, and its use is expected to reduce transactional fees, obviously, increase transaction speed, obviously, and be accessible to outsiders. Ugh, what a weird word. To outsiders such as tourists. LifeLab is also developing Rapid Cash Response, a fund meant to provide aid in case of a national emergency. The local government already announced this initiative in April. BVI Premier Andrew Fahey said, "The importance of blockchain technology and the significant benefits it offers to the British Virgin Islands are paramount to the territory. We welcome this innovation with open arms. Our partner, Life Labs, has demonstrated with their proven track record that their ideology is not just yada, yada, yada. We like them. They like us. We work together. We're making money." So this is now another country, territory, place on the planet who has announced that they're going to be creating their own digital currency called BVI Life. I assume they'll work on that name because no one's gonna walk into a store and go, "Do you guys take BVI Life?" It doesn't have a, it doesn't have that ring to it. Anyway, once again, yet another country, and this is also, it said it's somewhere in the actual article as well, and it's over here as well. This may have also been washed away. I'm pretty sure I spoke about this, but for those of you who aren't really keeping track, it says why the Marshall Islands is issuing its own cryptocurrency. Everyone's doing it. Everyone is making their own digital something on the planet, and I'm pretty sure you haven't. I mean, I also don't really look at like normal news anymore because it's just super depressing. But none of this is being spoken about in the open. A lot of it is kind of whatever. You've heard what's going on in the news, but there's so much happening in the financial world, and I would assume that a country or any country on this planet creating their own digital currency would have created more waves and or been super mainstream, but we know that's not how the news works. Anyway, so the British Virgin Islands and also the Marshall Islands are going to be creating their own cryptocurrencies. Let's move on. Next up, student loan and financial services provider SoFi have secured a New York virtual currency license, the state's financial regulator announced on Tuesday. The New York Department of Financial Services said in a press release that it approved the SoFi Digital Assets, a wholly owned subsidiary of SoFi, granting it a money transmission license as well as the virtual currency license known as BitLicense. SoFi Digital Assets is the 24th company to receive a cryptocurrency approval through the NYDFS. I'm actually surprised that they're the 24th. We had news at the beginning of this year. Maybe they've gotten it together. We had news at the beginning of this year. I think that the people from the NYDFS had only approved, I think, 12 or 13 companies over the course of the last, 6 years? And then that's when other states within the states have started to announce that they were also making their own digital currency law license thing, and they were all a lot better than the New York City one or the New York State one. So maybe this is why they've started to push the approvals, because they realized people were just simply going to other places. Under the licenses, the company will be able to provide, buy, and sell services for Bitcoin, Bcash, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, and Lumens to New York residents. In a statement, SoFi CEO Anthony Noto said the company was thrilled to offer crypto trading services in addition to active and automated investing, as well as part of SoFi's Invest in New York State on top of its other products. Sure. But they said putting our members' interests first is our top priority at SoFi. This includes both offering individuals the products they want, like cryptocurrency with SoFi Invest, as well as protecting them through a solid regulatory framework. Oh, come on, please. SoFi first indicated it began cryptocurrency, yada, yada, earlier this year. When it announced it was partnering with Coinbase at the time, the company did not indicate which cryptocurrencies would be on the platform. And now we know. So this is another company, institution, whatever you kind of want to call them, who has been granted a BitLicense. Yeah, I don't assume SoFi is going to be as large as Coinbase and or Binance and or maybe even the Gemini Twins' crypto exchange anytime soon, but cool. I like competition. I like other people being out there. I don't think it's good to only have to go to one shop. I think it's a little weird if everything was just centered around Coinbase. So I guess we'll get more news as the time goes on. I assume they'll be also announcing that they're going to be adding more coins. The thing that stuck out to me most, and it was like the first thing in the article, was student loan. I wonder exactly how that ties into their business. I wonder if they're also like a crypto lending business. I wonder if the entire thing that they got the regulatory licenses for was simply down to them being able to trade, buy, sell, hold, yada, 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 cryptocurrency. I wonder if they also do or plan on doing student loans and cryptocurrencies. That I would find it actually a bit more interesting than just opening up another cryptocurrency exchange. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, the accounting and consulting giant Ernst & Young is touting its new Ethereum-based marketplace called, this is the real name of it, it's called Tattoo Wine. That is Tattoo Wine. The marketplace is designed to give people a way to confirm that their beverage is the real deal and is not a counterfeit. The system is hosted on the public, they said, and I do quote, the system is hosted on the public Ethereum blockchain, which guarantees that no one party has complete control, leading to increased trust in the integrity of data and enabling new collaborators to easily and inexpensively join the network. The platform connects the vineyard and the consumer directly through a transparent and immutably digital supply chain. According to Ernst & Young, the platform remains in a trial run and is currently available in China. Not the most exciting news story that we've ever had, but we continue to get droplets every now and again of the institutions and companies who are into Ethereum. Whenever and this is just how I am gathering my information and I'm sharing it with the world, the information that we continuously get about Bitcoin, digital gold, buying it up, hoarding it, not selling it, yada, 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 putting it here, putting it there, institutions, buy. When it comes to Ethereum, it's always a major institutional player, and we also haven't heard that much from countries this year. Last year, we heard an enormous amount of news from countries who planned on using Ethereum. I think it was Brazil, it was Russia, it was this place, it was that, yada, 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 country. I assume more of them are doing so. Maybe they're simply testing it out, or maybe we simply haven't been told this news for the masses. But a lot of institutions are constantly building on top of Ethereum, which I find interesting. One, because the upgrades still have not happened and the network is still relatively slow. Two, I guess 1 and 2 kind of tie together. That was pretty much a large part of it, especially as the prices were going down, and we saw like a bit of like a backlash towards Ethereum during the beginning of this year and also the end of last year as prices were going down. People were like, Ethereum's garbage, Ethereum so-and-so. There are a lot of people who were at some point, I dare not call them Ethereum maximalists. They were more like Bitcoin maximalists who liked Ethereum. That's an exact way of saying it. They've also turned their back on the project, saying it's too slow, it's too so-and-so, it's not going to work. A lot of the, what's the word? A lot of the discussion comes down to the fact that a lot of them are saying that transitioning to proof of stake is not going to work for Ethereum, so they say. And also, I forgot what the other criticism was, but it seems that institutions are, I would assume that Ernst & Young is probably testing out the blockchain before they put anything that has money associated with it anywhere onto a blockchain. So I'm pretty sure it's been tested and tried, but we'll see. Still, I think, what is it? 1 to 3 days away from an upgrade on the Ethereum network. I'm actually holding my breath. I've been waiting for 3 years for this, and let's hope that it actually ends up happening. Next up, as part of its release of the cryptocurrency exchange Poloniex, Circle may begin charging fees to Poloniex US customers, and the company warns that any unclaimed digital assets, those in dormant accounts, may be sent to state governments consistent with relevant regulations for abandoned property. Before I even go any further, this is why it's very important to learn how to store your own private keys, how to store your own crypto. The last thing that you want, I'm certain, is you buy a cryptocurrency, put it onto an exchange. At some point, 2 to 3 years later, you look at the news, you see the price of that asset has exploded. And you go, I'm going to take my money out and I'm going to buy a new car. Only to find out that your account has not only been locked, but your money has been taken and sent to a government wherever you might live because of their policies. That is the why. That is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. Circle, which specializes in digital assets and over-the-counter swaps, announced in October that it had decided to sell the cryptocurrency exchange it controls and that North American or American customers will no longer be able to trade on the platform starting on the 1st of November. I think I remember this. Now the company is urging Poloniex US customers who have not yet done so to withdraw their assets as soon as possible before it may begin charging fees on their account. Why they would do that, who knows? Circle explains that there are 2 fees Poloniex US customers who do not withdraw their assets may be subject to. A monthly service fee. You're going to be charged a monthly service fee while a user continues to have assets stored on the platform, and a one-time dormancy fee when an account becomes dormant per the terms of the applicable regulations. Additionally, the company warns that unclaimed digital assets may be sent to state governments in accordance with the relevant regulations. I've said this before, and I'm going to try and stay right down the middle. It may be time for many of you out there to reevaluate where you are holding your cryptocurrencies. Make sure, and I know it's difficult, it's not though, to read the agreements that you have clicked with the company, because they may have stuff like this in their clause. The last thing you want, and I tell you this right now, is for you to be kind of 50-50 on the crypto market. You invested some money in the cryptocurrency space, and some years down the line, all you hear is someone screaming, I'm rich! I'm rich! And you want to also be rich as well, and you have no access to your money. Just gonna throw that out there. There are ways to hold your cryptocurrency yourself, to have it on your computer, to have multiple backups. I mean, really, just have multiple backups. Put them under your bed, give one to your mother, put it under her pillow. There are multiple ways to keep your money safe. A lot of cryptocurrency exchanges have gone through, and they're not growing pains, they've gone through life and have not aged like a fine wine. And what's going to end up happening, and remember I say this now, and I mentioned this before. The situation that we're entering into is that a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges are also becoming banks. They have bank charters, bank licenses, and you're going to get to a point where you're going to try and take out money from your account, and you won't be able to do so because you'll have to go through the proper channels as if it was a bank. When you're trying to transfer money to a friend to so-and-so, you won't be able to do so because, yeah, you understand exactly what I'm trying to say. So for those of you who are using Poloniex or using Poloniex US, you have been warned, ? That doesn't sound, yeah. Make sure your money's safe. Next up, a panel of top U.S. financial regulators, including Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, urged federal and state officials to monitor risks from digital assets such as Bitcoin. The recommendation came in an annual report published on Wednesday by the Financial Stability Oversight Council, set up after 2008 to help identify emerging risks that could trigger a new banking crisis. The panel also includes U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Jay Clayton and Commodities Futures Trading Commission Chair Heath Tarbert. We've spoken about these people thousands of times. The council recommends that federal and state regulators continue to examine risks to the financial system posed by new and emerging uses of digital assets and distributed ledger technologies, end quote. U.S. lawmakers and administration officials, including Mnuchin and President Donald J. Trump, have warned of the risks to the financial system from cryptocurrencies and stablecoins like Facebook's proposed Libra. But some former officials, including ex-CFTC TC Chair Christopher Giancarlo, that was difficult, have pushed for faster adoption of blockchains, arguing that the country could fall behind, which they will, behind other countries as the fast-moving technology develops. According to a new report, the risks of existing and planned digital asset arrangements could put financial industry stability in peril via both direct and indirect connections with banking services, financial markets, and financial intermediaries. Here's the actual report right here. I am not scrolling through this entire thing. It is 152 pages. It shows all the little content, the little index over here. Cybersecurity, structural vulnerabilities, mortgages, financial innovation, housing finance, I have to sneeze, corporate credit, sovereign debt, household credit, real estate markets, and it goes on, commodities, yada, 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 continues. And then you have all the signatures from them right here in a little amazing PDF form because we're in the future. Like I said, I'm not going through the entire thing just to figure out where exactly they were spitting on cryptocurrencies, but it has been noted a few times now, and I saw this or listened to this on a podcast as well. They said before it was evident, at least to us, that cryptocurrency was not in the sight of regulators, and now it most certainly is, and they're trying to do what they can, at least in some sort of way. I'm pretty sure we don't know the entire picture. They're trying to do what they can to make sure that they also understand the entirety of the cryptocurrency space, because we've gotten to the point where they realize that not only could Bitcoin and stablecoins pose some type of a risk to the future of current financial markets, but a number of countries are now also coming forward saying, hey, yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. I think we'd also like to do that as well. I think the Marshall Islands, if I'm not mistaken, I think they said they were doing so because they're trying to get away from the dominance of the US dollar. I think this is what it was. But they wouldn't be the first, and I'm pretty sure they will not be the last country to do so. Anyway, that is the regulation news for today. Yeah. Let's move on. And to kind of finish things off, for some reason last night, Bitcoin surged by 8%, went above $7,700 on a number of cryptocurrency exchanges, but apparently it lasted anywhere from a couple of minutes to like an hour or so, and the price went back down. It was a very weird surge. A lot of cryptocurrency pricing metric websites aren't even showing the surge. It's completely flat, but apparently a couple of places it ended up happening, and people are unsure, at least at the moment, as to why. It could have been a glitch, but it happened across multiple cryptocurrency exchanges. Maybe simply some of them just didn't register that it was happening, or maybe, who knows? It could be a bajillion and one things. But yeah, Bitcoin had a very weird surge last night. I'm noticing a lot more as we get closer to the end of the year. I'm noticing a lot more Bitcoin's going to do great in the next couple of weeks articles than we had previously seen before. I think a lot of people are optimistic to kind of finish with this year and also to finish with this decade. Isn't that, we are a couple of weeks away from a brand new decade. Isn't that the weirdest thing you've ever heard in your entire life? Anyway, as always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gun-A-Bot University, The Animal Reader, Bibliophobia, Bare Bones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Nield, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and J, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Mill Wheezy, Mechanic, Strange Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas Runner with One Piece, One Love, Damian Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes, 2, Crypto, Bodie Mick Boatface, Sammy Buucha, Ting Tang, Walla Walla Bing Bang, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, and Shoop Shoop Diddy Wop Hummer Hummer Wang Dang. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the moment, market's kind of trending sideways. There are always certain coins that are up more than others, like Zcash is up, sure. Nano's up by like 1%. FTT token, sure you never heard of that one, is, and please don't be that one person in the comment sections to go, I know what FTT is, you don't. I forgot what coin I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. There was some coin that had shot up by like 28%. I was like, what is that? And somebody was like, you don't know Hot Fire Wire coin? And I was like, no, and neither do you. I'm pretty sure you've never heard of it. And if you did, it was like as I was reading the name out. Anyway, FTT token is up by 15%. Go FTT. Everything else is sideways green. It's kind of cool. Bitcoin is up by 1.8%. I prefer a green day than any completely red day. So hopefully the green slightly upward trend continues. I hope you all enjoyed. We keep having very weird news. It's always I have no words for it. At least it's not bad news. That's what counts. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having and continue to have a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.